Hello and welcome to my Microteach presentation number 2. My name is N.Hill, and today I'll be presenting on the importance of saving for retirement starting in your 20s. So by the end of the session, we will know what retirement accounts are and how they work. We'll also have a better understanding of the value of saving now and the impact of compound interest. And we'll also be able to differentiate between traditional and Roth individual retirement accounts. So why think about retirement now? This is what the research is saying. Nearly half of Americans may not be adequately prepared for retirement. This is a problem not just for persons nearing or entering retirement, but for young adults who are just beginning to build their financial life. One of the misconceptions about retirement planning is that it begins near retirement age, but the truth is that it actually begins in your 20s. That's when you should begin saving for retirement. Thanks to compound interest, putting $100 a month into an investment fund that returns 5% annually starting at the age of 25 would yield nearly 4 times more by age 65 than if you had started at age 45. So let's talk a little bit about interest. So there are two types of interest we're going to talk about today. One is simple interest and the other is compound interest. Simple interest is the interest that you earn on the original amount of money that you place in an account. So think of regular checkings and savings. When you put that money in there, that is the principal, and you will gain, if you check your bank account, you'll notice that you may gain like a penny or two. That is a flat rate of interest that you're going to earn, and that is what the bank is paying you for you having your money in that bank. So this is a flat rate. Compound interest is the interest that you earn on the original principal, but also on the interest that you earn. So you earn money on what you put in there, and as it grows each year, you're getting more and more on that as it gets bigger. So it's growing exponentially. So simple interest is like getting the same basket of fruit every year, no matter what. Compound interest is like your tree growing bigger each year and giving you more fruit every time. And if you're familiar with high yield savings accounts versus a regular savings account, that is the difference. One has simple interest and the other, the high yield savings account, grows because of its compound interest. So saving now versus saving later, we can see that if one starts saving at 25 and contributes the max to their IRA each year until age 65, you can see the difference in how much more they can save versus someone who starts at maybe 45 or later. So let's talk about retirement accounts. What are they? Retirement accounts are investment accounts that are designed to grow your money over time. Now, the main difference between a retirement investment account and a regular investment account is that for retirement accounts, there are penalties and guidelines to what types of things you can invest in and also when you can take that money out. With a regular investment account, you can put it in, you can take it out. It will be taxed as a short or long-term capital gain. But with a retirement account, you have to leave that money in there until you reach retirement age, or you will have to pay penalties. There are some exceptions, but generally. So retirement accounts hold investments like stocks and bonds and ETFs. And it's very similar to just like a traditional investment account. So accounts like, yeah, okay. So common retirement accounts. So we have 401ks. These are offered by your employers and lets you invest in mutual funds. 403bs are very similar to 401ks, but they're for teachers, nonprofits, and government employees. And then we have individual retirement accounts, which are traditional and Roth. A personal retirement account. This is a personal retirement account that you can make contributions to that may be tax deductible, and the growth is tax deferred for a traditional. For the Roth, you can invest your post-tax dollars, and withdrawals in retirement are free. So accounts like 401ks and IRAs, they don't just grow from compound interest that we just talked about. They grow because you're also making contributions to them. So they grow because of what you're putting in getting bigger, but also because your interest is also growing bigger. So the contributions are growing on top of interest. So you've got two things that are working in your favor. The returns from these investments are what generate that compound growth over time. But the investments also are growing as well. Like as you're invested, you're going to be receiving payments on those that are just being reinvested into your retirement account. So those two things working together is what's going to grow your retirement account. And that's why starting now sets you up to have more in the long term. So let's talk about employer-sponsored retirement plans. These are offered by employers. We talked about two of them, 401ks and 403bs. There are others, but they're not necessary for today. Um, and so these can pre-tax contribution to these accounts can help to reduce your taxable income. Many companies offer a match, which is just free money that boosts your savings. And then there's also a vesting schedule, which means that if you stay with a company for a certain amount of time, if you end up leaving the company, you can take the money that is vested for that amount of time. You can take that amount with you and you don't have to start from scratch over again. So let's talk about a brief example. We have Jane. She's 25 and her salary is 50,000 and she contributes 6% of her income to her 401k each year, 401k each year. Their employer matches 50% of Jane's contributions up to the 6%. So this is an additional 1,500 each year. So Jane's tax benefit is that the contributions that are made to her retirement account, that 3,000 is not included in her gross income when she goes to file her taxes. So that reduces her income, which means that how much she pays in taxes will also be reduced. So then we also have the compound growth over time. And this is where the employer match comes in and is really, really cool. So that additional 1,500 increases the amount, and it's not the match she can contribute. She can contribute more. But it increases how much, and you can see how much more that influences her growth. So you can see here is just if she doesn't contribute any, that's the dotted line, and then the orange line shows if Jane contributes just on her own, but it grows just that much more when you see the employer match in addition to hers. So that really it's a really cool incentive that employers like to use to encourage their employees to contribute to their retirement savings accounts. So then we have individual retirement accounts, and these are accounts that just people like you and me can just set up on our own. And so there's traditional and Roth. Traditional IRA accounts, these contributions are tax deductible. So if you make annually $50,000 a year, let's go back to Jane. She makes the $50,000 a year. That 3,000 is coming out before we talk about taxes. Like, boom, that's out. It's not being taxed. The 47,000 she will be taxed on. The 3,000, it goes straight into your retirement account. And when you retire is when they will tax that. So as we see here, it's taxed as income in retirement. And then because of that, we have what's called a required minimum distribution, which means that at a certain age, the government requires you to start taking from that huge pile of money you've saved up. And that's because they want their tax money on that. So at 73 is when you have to, in 2025, because that changes, but you have to begin taking your required minimum distributions. And then for the Roth, we have these contributions are made with after-tax dollars. So we know that that 47,000 was going to be included in her gross income, going back to Jane's example. So that 47,000 is what's being taxed. Roth IRA contributions will come from that taxed money because it's taxed already. That's what makes it a Roth contribution. And this means that when we go down here, we see that they don't have to it's not taxed when it comes out because it's coming out of taxed money. That would be double taxation. So they also do not have a required minimum distribution because the government's not trying to get their money because it's already taxed. So those are the main differences between those. And then those that are expecting to be in a lower tax bracket in retirement, they not want to, but for them, they will not have to pay as much taxes. So this is why they say that traditional IRAs may be better for those, and that Roth IRAs may be better for those that expect to be in a higher tax bracket because that will be taxes they don't have to pay. It's kind of good to have a balance of both based on your own financial needs. It's not necessarily a one or the other situation. So why think about retirement now? Well, larger savings, compound growth, and the ability to contribute more for a longer amount of time. There's also tax benefits for both now and later. And then also financial security. With more savings, you feel more financially secure, you can plan more. This will lead to peace of mind. And then peace of mind and financial security help you to feel like you have financial agency, which means that you feel empowered to make financially informed decisions about how you want to retire and what you want that to look like. So please let me know if you have any comments or questions. And here are my references. I hope that you've enjoyed this presentation.